Arabic is much simpler. So what we want to do now is we want to show you on the top. This is called the ta'uz, which is what we say before reading Quran or before reading or before saying our prayers. You should say this first. All right. If you don't do that, you're in trouble. And here's what I mean. This is saying I seek refuge with Allah from Shaitan, the rejected enemy. If we don't, Shaitan said he promised Allah that he would come upon Allah's man from in front of him and from behind him, from his left and from his right. So if we don't make ta'uz, if we don't seek Allah's help, when we get ready to pray, or when we get ready to read the scripture or whatever, Shaitan can, and this is just one example, he can very easily whisper to you. You getting ready to say prayer, you made whistle and wudu, and you got on your jalabi and your turban and your staff is leaning on, and you step in your sajada, that's your prayer robe, is laying out so nice and clean, and you get ready to raise your hand, and Shaitan was, man, this dude, and you really got your prayers down, man. You're perfect. Now here you go with that in your mind. So that's why we make ta'uz, so he can't whisper. No, he come to you right in your religion. You getting ready to pray. He don't tell you not to pray. He tell you got it, man. You're perfect. Now he done swell your head up. You see what I'm talking about? So that's just one good example to show you why we make ta'uz. So now we want to give you the syllabication, pronunciation and syllabication of ta'uz, all right? We ordinarily say it, and I'm going to say it the normal way we say it, then we'll show you syllable by syllable. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Now let's go syllable by syllable. What's the first syllable? I want participation too. What's the first syllable we said here? Ah. So then we're going to make it red. Ah. And the next syllable is what? No. Before you get the zoo. All right. So we're going to make it black so you can see the difference. So this is the ooh. Here. And then the next syllable now. And not a do. And some people say do, do. And also when we finish this, we want to go back and clarify something that we're supposed to say when we finish prayer too, because we mispronounced that and I have never worked with it, but we need to. All right. So we're going to make it red so you can see it. Now that's just one word. But it's got 3 syllables to it, 3 parts. All right. Some words only have 1 syllable, but this one has 3. Now the next part of it is billahi. Billahi. This is actually a compound word. We add B in front of Allah. Billahi. So what is the next syllable? Bill, all right? Bill. So we're going to make it black. Excuse me, got it. Now, notice what happened here. I'm skipping this and this. I should have shown you that before I wrote it up here, but I'm skipping this letter here and this letter, and it's 2 of these here. That shaddab means 2 of them. This, in other words, why? Because ordinarily, if the bid wasn't here, we would have an up here on this, and that would be Allah. We still would skip this because this and this are the same letters, and when you have 2 sun letters coming together in a word, you ignore the first one in pronunciation and double the second one. Even though in this case the sun letters are the same, but we have 14 sun letters and 14 moon letters. So when any of the 2 sun letters, doesn't have to be the same. This case is the same. This lamb here and this lamb here are the same letter. We wassail this one in pronunciation, but we have to write it in order to spell the word right, you see. And then we double this one in pronunciation and dictation. So it just so happened, we're going to have some situations where the sun letter is on, let me see, do we have, yeah, we have, I'm going to write the shadda, I'm sorry, the shadda is on, no, in this, oh yes, well, okay, we have one where 2 sun letters here. We have where 2 sun letters come together and they're not the same. So you get a chance to see it even better here. In this case, this and this are the same. Both of them are sun letters, This one, we drop the vowel over here, and we use the vowel from here, okay? Okay, so now we get bil. Now let's finish that syllable. Bil. Bil, sukoon. And then the next syllable? La. Billah. And not billah. Okay, and I'll explain that to you. You have some Muslims who say la. In the word Allah, this sound, la, that syllable, is nowhere else in the Arabic language. Not the sound la. Even though you have the same letters, if it's in another word, it will be la. Only in the word Allah. And isn't it true that we know that Allah never changes? Well, so why we going? Now here's what they tell you. They say whenever Allah is preceded by kasra, that's this lower, but that's E. Then instead of saying la, you say la. So that's why I say billah, but that's not acceptable to me. All right, Allah doesn't change, and the only place that's the biggest challenge, because they say, well, you're not speaking correctly, brother. Somebody has messed up the language over these period of years. Otherwise, the Muslim world wouldn't be as messed up as it is today. That's where the mess up comes, in the language. When you mess up the language, everything else just follows. And so and it is easy to say la once you're down there. But the word, that the reference to the Creator doesn't change. It's not Allah sometime, and Allah sometimes. It's Allah all the time. That's right. All right. And in no other word, I repeat, in no other word does this combination of lam and aleph sound like law. Even those who say la someplace, they still never say say law in other places. They only say law in Allah. So that's the only place it is, okay? All right, so that's the uniqueness of it. Okay. Billah, and now we get to, what's the next syllable? Well, he is he here. If you're just dealing with Allah, billah, but this is, Allah is in what is, see, Allah can end in three. Allah and any noun can end in three. Since you did that, no, I just teach you that along right now. Allah or any noun can end in three different ways. Yes, sir.
We can't see. Sisters can't see nothing.
Well, there are no male and female sisters, male and female seats.
Is it possible you
just come on over here? Come on over
here. There are no male and female seats. We know where we come from, you know. But did nobody shake you down when you came in either? Didn't check to see if you've been smoking or anything. All right. So it's a new thing. All right. No, because we're doing, see, I understand what you said, but we're doing two things. We also have it set up for the camera. So that's the reason. It's not that I wouldn't want to try to tilt it around or whatever, but we're trying to get it recorded for others too. So where was I at? Telling you the three different ways that any noun can end. And of course, if there's an adjective going along with that noun, then it will end the same way. And that is, if the noun is in the nominative case. If you were just saying Allah without anything in the reference, you want to say Allah is God, it would be Allahu. That's because it's in the nominative case, meaning your naming is also what we call a subject case, a subject of the sentence. If Allah, if it's talking about something that belongs to Allah, then it ends in E. And it was E indicates possession. In this case, what is the possession? It's the possession that we of protection that we're looking from Allah. So He possesses Sa'udhu billahi, because He's we want His protection. Okay. This is this A'udhu, which means to seek help. Whose help we want? Allah. So therefore, Allah in this case ends in E. All right. Okay, that doesn't change Allah. All right. That's the rule, and that's not only for Allah. That's for any words when it's a noun and the adjective that's going along with that noun, depending on the case. We have the same thing in English. You know about it. What we call nominative, objective, and possessive. Something is the beginning of a sentence is nominative. If it's on now in English, you want to show possession. What do? For everything except a few pronouns such as there and his and like that, we end them in what is called an apostrophe S. If your name or so something, we put, even if your name is Jones, we still put an apostrophe. It ends in S, we still put an apostrophe S. So the apostrophe is the indication of ownership. In Arabic, the E at the end of the word is indicative of possession, all right? So now, so we are lahi, okay, so now we want, this is the he here. When it's written, when this letter is written by itself, this letter right here, when it's written by itself, it's just a circle, all right? And then we put the, yes, I want to be lahi. It's the same letter. This and this is the same letter. Oh boy, that's confusing. I knew we'll learn all of that. There are 4 ways to make Arabic letters. In the beginning, by itself, in a beginning position, a middle position, and an end position. And sometimes that varies quite a bit. But guess what? You learn the same thing in English. There are 4 ways to make English letters. Excuse me. Manuscript, what we call capital letters or uppercase, and manuscript lowercase. That's what we're printing, all right? That's what we're doing. And then when we write cursive, we have capital and small or lowercase. That's 4 different ways too. Okay, so it's not new. Okay, so the 4 different ways in Arabic is when the word letter is by itself, when it's at the beginning of a word, when it's in the middle of a word, and at the end of a word. So this is what the letter looks like at the end of a word. This is what it looks like in the by itself. And let me show you the same word somewhere else, same letter somewhere else. Do we have it? Yeah, we have it here in a beginning position. This is the same letter in the beginning. We don't have it in the, oh yes, we have it in the middle position. I know where is it? Here it is right here. And of course this middle position here is more than one way to make that middle position here. But so we do have it here. We have it by itself, beginning, middle, and end. That's the same letter, all right? This is the middle position. This is the beginning position. This is the end position, and this is by itself. All the same letter, all right? Practice will instill that in you. Now, if you never try to write anything, then you won't get it. You know, if you're just going to look at it and, I got it. No, you need to practice writing. And the best way to learn the language is to write. Well, what am I going to write? Copy the Quran. Well, I don't know what it is. Copy it anyway. Draw it. I heard a brother say that one time in high school, with me in high school. He was supposed to be like the dumbest boy in the class. And the teacher asked him, said, LC, the teacher was calling him, really picking on him that day. Just going to because he's sitting up there asleep. He said, LC, how do you write a check? It was a business math class. So LC knew that. So he knew about counting money. He was older than the rest of it. He said, first you put the date on it. Then you put the amount of money in numbers. Then you put the person's name on that's going to. Then you write the amount in words. And he realized, man, I got it. He said, then you draw your name at the bottom. He got excited. He said, you draw your name. So you don't know what, just draw it. And pretty soon you get used to it. But just draw the alphabet there. Just sit down and draw it. I'm telling you, Allah will be with you. But if you sit up and look at it, I can't do that. You know what? You can't. When you decide you can, you can. Okay, Bismillahi, and then now. Here's a mistake. Most people say minna shaitan. If you say minnash, then you're actually putting a shadda here. It's me, and then the noon goes all the way over here. Me nash, all right? So the next syllable is me, and make it red. And I'm going to kind of hurry along now, but I want you to see it. Me, okay? And then the noon is going over here with this word over here. Now here's the sun letter. I was looking all down here, but here's the sun letter here. This is a sun letter, and this is a sun letter. This one here, we got this letter here. It would have this on top of it. We're gonna drop the vowel here and use this to go straight, skipping this and this. Why? Because this and this is a sun letter. Different sun letters. Over here, it was the same sun letter. Here is 2 different. This is a sun letter, and this is the same one we had over here, but this is another one here. A sun letter. I told you there were 14 of them. So then the na goes all the way over here, and when the shadda is on a letter, it means that there are 2 of the letters. And the first one is sukoon, And the second one will have whatever the vowel is that's on it. In this case, it's a. So we take the na, skip this, and take one of these. That's how we do that, okay? So now that's going to give us our next syllable, which is going to be nash. That's what that letter looks like, that same letter, what it looks like when it's at the end of the word. Nash. All right, we skipped this, and we took one of these to make that syllable there, nash. All right, and that letter is sukoon. Now the next one, we got another one, but it's not going to be sukoon. It's going to have the vowel that's on it here, and that will be shay. So we got a'udhu billahi minash. Shay, this is sha, but it goes over into this one because there's sukoon on this, which means that when there's a sukoon on a letter, as it is here, the sukoon, that means that that letter has to go back and be pronounced with whatever syllable was before it. In this case, it's sha. So now it will no longer be sha, it will be shay, because the I-E. So we got shay. And that's what this letter looks like at the end of a word. All right. Shay. And the sukoon. Shay. And then the next syllable. This is another case where people make the mistake. They got to say shaitan, but they know that it's supposed to be, so they'll say shaitan near rajim. It's not shaitan. There's only one of these. And this has to go with the next syllable because we got the same sun letter rule, which I'm looking all down here. We got another sun letter rule. Sun letter here, sun letter here. Dropping this first one up here because I'm using this vowel. This would have been a vowel here. Outer Agin, all right? But now we're going to use it and use this vowel, skipping this sun letter and doubling this sun letter. So it becomes shay, but we haven't gotten to tall yet. It's not shaitan, even though the character is shaitan, but the syllable is shaitan, all right? And the noon is going to go with the next word, so shaitan. All right, this is a long vowel. Shaitan. That would be a, but because this letter is what we call huruf halki, it's a heavy letter. So instead of being ta, and there is another letter that would be ta, but not this one. This is the heavy. It's tall. All right. Ta would be something else altogether, another word. Tall, and then we take the noon and make another syllable. Take this and connect it over here. We're skipping this and going to the sun letter, and we get near, tall, near. Near. And then we have two of them. So the first one is sukoon. The next one is just going to be written with the vowel on it. So it's shaitan, near, ra. And then the last syllable would be jimi. But at the end of the word, we don't pronounce the last vowel because this is actually be two more syllables, maybe G and then me. But since it's the end of the expression, we drop this vowel in pronunciation. We still have to write, but we drop it in pronunciation and be shaitan nirajim. All right, so let me show you what that looks like. Be jim. Now, this letter has a sukoon on it. All right, but we're not going to add a sukoon over here. We don't write any sukoons that are not real, but we treat it as if it's sukooned. So we say shaitan nirajim instead of jimi. All right. We're not going to get as much covered as I thought we would. Yes, sir. You have a question? No. Okay. Shaitan nirajim. So at least if we get that straight. So we don't say shaitan nirajim. When you say shaitan nirajim, then you have put a shaddat here. And there is no shaddat, meaning you made this letter two letters. And it's not two letters, it's just one. Okay? So wherever there's a shaddat, we do that. But it's not one here, and it's not one here. So it's not minash shaitan nirajim, it's me. Minash shaitan nirajim. Do you know what? When Allah blessed me to see this in the system, I was able to improve my own speech and understanding. Because if you understand the word, if you can say the word correctly, it's easier to understand it. And if you understand it, then that way you can now implement it into your life and make better use of it. All right. Shaitan nirajim. All right. Now, Okay, we got a few more minutes. So now this is Surah Al-Fatiha. So what I'm going to do, instead of leaving space down here, I decided that was short enough for me to put it. Well, I don't want to use a, well, yes, I use black and red. Okay, then that way. This is just to separate this, okay. Because the first syllable is going to be what? In Surah Al-Fatiha, what's the first syllable? Su, not su, su, long su, su. Su. The next syllable? Ra. Very good. The next syllable? Two, not two. What happened? The two is going to go over and connect. That would be Al-Fatiha if it didn't have surah in front of it. So we dropped the L. You notice I didn't have any vowel on this. If this doesn't have any vowel on it, then it's not pronounced. Okay. So Surah 2, and then we're going Tul. Surah Tul. Instead of Al-Fatiha, just Surah Tul-Fatiha. So we connect the word Surah. Right?
Say that Tul again.
Tul. Surah Tul.
Tul.
Tul. Okay. Two things I want to show you. And then I'm not rushing, but shoot. This letter here, made like this, when it's by itself, which is very similar to this other one we had right here, but I don't think this got 2 dots in it on it. That makes a difference. And it's called Ta Marbuta, or a feminine T. It can only be at the end of the words like that. It can look like this. If it's connected, it's going to look like this. All right? This and this is the same letter. It indicates femininity. Does it mean that this is now a word only for the females? No. It means that word in its essence has a reproductive characteristic. The Al-Fatiha, first of all, surah, the same, that's the only first, surah to Al-Fatiha. The surah is a division of the Quran. It comes from the word sur, which means not surah, but just sur, which means a wall or partition. Okay, but the surahs in the Quran, surah 2, we pronounce surah, but it's actually written surah 2, but which pronounce you change this. By the way, what I'm saying, I'm doing it anyway, somebody will tell you. When it's at the end of the word and nothing else is coming after it, you don't pronounce it as ta, you pronounce it as ha. So that's why you say, if you say surah by stuff, you say surah, but this is what you write. But you say surah. You take the dots off it and pronounce it as if it's this letter here. Ha. Okay. That's the treatment of surah of the ta marbuta. Remembering that anytime you see that on a word, it means that word has a feminine nature to it. Ummah. Does that mean that the community is all female? No. It just means that the community, in order for it to be true to its nature, is going to reproduce. This is what concerns us most right now, and that is that we are losing much of our new generation. That new generation, the Ummah, we're going to be have such a nurturing, and I'm not going to deal with that a lot because Brother Akbar is going to talk about it some. We have a nurturing effect so that our children will grow up and be us, and even better than us for the next generation. So that's why that word is written feminine. I just thought I would bring that to your attention, not to make it a part of today's presentation. Okay, all right. Okay, surah. Okay. Oh, by the way, when this letter is written in syllabication, we don't write it as feminine. We write it just because it doesn't have any the only independent character it has is to indicate that word is of a feminine nature. But when we pronounce it, it sounds just like this word here. Just like that letter. Ta. Surah Tul, and we got to put the lamb here. Surah Tul. Surah Tul. See, we use this letter here. When it was syllabicated, we never use this in syllabication. That's only for comprehension to understand the nature of the word, okay? So in syllabication, we just put a regular ta. Surah Tul, and then fa. Fa, and of course, this is the regular ta here, T, fa, T, And then, ha. Most of us don't say it right. We just say Fatiha. It's not Fatiha, it's Fatiha. Watch when I syllabicate. All right, ha. This is a ha, and then this is going to wind up being this, so it's going to be like hard H to a soft H. All right. Fatiha. All right. Fatiha. Not just Fatiha. Fatiha. Yeah. All right. Well, at least we got that part. Now we can do one more line. Hopefully, we'll squeeze. Okay. And then you stop the clock. Hold the clock. You can't stop the clock. Clock won't stop. Okay. The first phrase after we say the title is Bismillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, you need to understand that Bismi is a compound word. It's B plus ism. Plus ism. All right. All right. This is the same B here that we had in Billah. It means with. All right. Imam Mohammed gave us that understanding. Now the others are trying to catch up. Right. But they had been for years. I don't know how long they've been saying in the name. All right. And Imam Mohammed gave us a better understanding of it. This is with. Okay. And ism means name. So in other words, if someone says to you, Ma ismuka, then you just tell them what your name is. Because ma means what, and ism means name, and ka means your. Ma ismuka. Now you might want to shoot, you might not want to show out like that because somebody might start running off. You might go, ma ismuka. Hold up, I'm too worried. I was just playing. All right. Oh yeah, I'm just playing. Okay, so now the bid. Well, first of all, to make this word, this compound word, they eliminated this altogether. But you will find it written something like this in the first revelation. When they have the first revelation of the Quran, what is it, 96? It will be something like that, right? No, not. Let me see. Iqra Bismi, but I'm not sure whether both of these are. I think it's just one of these. Yeah, that's the way that. Yeah. Iqra Bismi. So it'll be, and they'll actually have it in. That's way. They'll actually have this in there without anything on it. So Bismi. All right, that's the way it is in Iqra. Iqra Bismi. That's the way it's written. But they took it out altogether and they have Bismillah, for Bismillah we're using all the time. You have a question or you? Okay. So this is, but if you look in the 96th chapter, you will see it written like this, as opposed to written like this. Now I also want to share this, and then maybe we'll just stop here. We'll start with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, because I want to show you this, because anything can be confusing, and Shaitan will show it to you to try to help you be confused, because you want to be confused, so you won't be responsible for knowing too much. When you see Bismillah written like this, that's just art. All this in between, that's just art to help make the line long. This is full Bismillah right there, as opposed to like you see. And matter of fact, you might see it sometimes. You might see it written like this. You might see that there, and might see Allah written in here. That's what you call calligraphy. Mm-hmm. You know, and then they might have Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim all written in. Don't get carried away with that. I'm giving you the simplified presentation, and that's why we will start next month, inshallah, with this. You'll have to reflect on the taroos. We will talk about it, but we're not. I may I'll have that part written on the board and just start with the salutation of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I don't want you to have to imagine too much. So that'll be hard on your brain. Okay, so I don't want to overload it. Oh, Daddy, overloaded my brain. Like the boy, my late wife was telling me, she said, she had this little boy in class, he could read anything, but he didn't pronounce the word, but he didn't have any understanding. And so one day, ow! She said, what's wrong? I don't remember what his name was now. He hit me. Why he hit you? Right here on my brain. You know, he can read anything, but he didn't know the parts of his body. The boy, somebody hit him on his arm. Right here on my brain. Well, he had someone say he knew that's why he felt it. His brain one told him he'd been hit. So he wasn't a dummy altogether, but he didn't understand the association of words. You know? So I don't want to overload your brain. You know, he hit me right on my brain. Let's make a dua and close out, because I'm going to tell you, once we finish presenting the Al-Fatiha this way, then we're gonna go to some du'as that we're already using on the lifeline each Sunday morning. So we want to try to make sure that everybody has the same coverage. So we finish the Al-Fatiha, inshallah. It will be easier now that you understand. We'll already have the first part up there already syllabicating everything, and then we'll start with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and hopefully, because I'll be able to write it closer once we have it up there, be able to write it closer, the syllabication of the first two lines that we have, and then we will start the Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and inshallah we'll be able to get through all 7 ayahs. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
That's a fast running clock you got there, brother. Did anyone have any questions or comments any questions? Up at the top. And by the way, practice pointing when you have things down. Practice pointing. Because we do have this material where we can give it to you in writing, and practice pointing, because pointing is a part of understanding what you're doing. They discourage it with children. Don't point, just read. No, pointing is, but that child gonna be reading, gonna be pointing at first, and then the main thing they want to make it show how smart you are. Don't point, just read. Pointing will help you. That's a'udhu billahi mi Nash Shay Ta Nir Rajim. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a statement too. Just recently, that the language of the Arabic is precise, and Allah chose to present the language in the Arabic because it's the most accurate language. And I looked at it as being, what do you call it? The language of Allah, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought that hit me. We just learn Arabic, but to learn the language of Allah, because Allah wanted us to understand, that language of His, you know.
As long as you mentioned that too, I mentioned it this morning in the class this morning, and that is, don't think, because the sister had a Quran that evidently she was in St. Louis, so I couldn't see her, but I trust her. It should have had, it was a place where it should have had a shadda, and it didn't have it. I'm looking at it in my all Arabic Quran, and then I'm also looking at it in the Yusuf. So all Yusuf Ali translations are not the same either, by the way. Don't think that. As a matter of fact, Yusuf Ali has been made his transition a long time ago, and they're changing his translations. They still call it Yusuf Ali, but they're changing little things that they got from Imam Muhammad. But the point I wanted to make is that just because a person is born in an Arab-speaking environment and speaks Arabic and writes Arabic, that's not Quran.